Okay, everyone, this is your girl, the Oracle, me. You know, well, I would say host, but I'm kind of getting to a point of shifting in different things, but I'm still here with you. So, regardless of where you are, what you're listening to, well, what you're listening on, whatever's going on in your life, en tu vida, right? I'm gonna start doing my Spanish segments too. Now, don't throw any shade. I grew up in the lifestyle, but having years in between can make you feel a little in between. But if you're listening into who's new, who's next, or coming back, this is your girl Lexus T coming at you straight from the heart, always, right? From Real Double Dose channel and wherever you're listening to, or Lex Effect RDDC on our YouTube. And I said that right. Or you could be listening to Real Double Dose channel or the Real Double Dose channel on YouTube itself, seeing this, but it's for every hub. Work with Lex or Lexus, everything. This is a conversation I had, and I did kind of a cool, I think, a little cinematic viewpoint of it. So I'm hoping that it resonates, but I wanted to read, and I say read because I don't want to get to a point, and I thought about that too. Some people, and I'm open with it. You have to be raw, you have to be real, or you need to be, or you should be, or try to be. Pero but the point I look at is I'd rather give you everything that I'm supposed to say to you that I've been writing and recording and doing than try to just come on here and just, hey, I memorized it all and I forgot 80% of it. See, the messages that come from God are the messages you're supposed to receive, not how I want to deliver them. And of course, I'm not going to just wake up straight out of bed when my voice is groggy and do that. Though I have something for you here, beloved. So you could be driving, you could be cooking, you could be with the kids, you could be walking in the park, but I want to give you something that I was thinking of that God delivered inside of me to give to you. It's a few days behind, though it's right here, right on time. Now I'm trying to get my screen to show me the camera, which I'm trying to look at, and my screen below. So if I look like I'm reading below, it's because I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't minimize what I usually would. But I'll see if I can put it to the side for a minute. But I don't know how that's gonna work out. I'm just trying to make sure you get what you need to get. Yeah, there we go. So it's called The Recipe, the seasoning and the stewardship of you. Now, I did originally have it called Recipes and Gatekeeping, and then I said versus gatekeeping, and couldn't figure it out. But we'll slap a title on it, right? We'll put it on there, but you get the title and the message that you're supposed to with this, and I hope that. So I'm gonna be reading along here, stopping in between, giving my thoughts, and giving you pause for yours. Though, sorry, I'm a little parched. But, though, I just want you to receive this wherever you are right now. The year 2026, the year 2046, I don't know, but this message is for you to receive it. You, okay? So the recipe, the seasonings, and the stewardship. And I'm gonna see if I can just move this over a little bit more. All right, so I'm reading from this angle. Yes, it's a little backwards sometimes, and I'm putting the camera this way. So if you're wondering why is she looking over this, because I want to be able to just scroll as I'm going instead of having to do all that. Okay, transparent, no shade. All right. So wherever you are, the recipe, the seasonings, and the stewardship of you. This is written via God, via me, or from God via me, from stewardship of the Oracle, so forth. So why guarding what God put in you is not gatekeeping, it's wisdom. All right. Now listen up, beloveds. This one's gonna be deep. So Mr. Krabs has a secret formula. If you don't hear about him, he's more of the um well, SpongeBob, right? So we're not endorsing SpongeBob, okay? This is not to say the people who created it gave me that, but everybody has their little memes and a few moments later kind of thing. But I thought about that, and I like actually watching SpongeBob when I actually have the chance to. But it's not bad. It's a little cheesy, but I got their little thing. But Mr. Krabs, right? If you ever watched it or seen it, somebody has have seen that he hides this formula. So he has his secret formula and he hides it from plankton. That little, I don't know if he's a sea cucumber or what, but he tries to steal this formula from Mr. Krabs meticulously, goes through hell and high water. That's his only thought form is how do I get the secret formula so I can do it in the chum bucket. Anyway, do your due diligence if you feel like it, and who knows, maybe you'll be loving and laughing in a minute. But Mr. Krabs has a secret formula, right? Colonel Sanders, okay, of KFC, I'm just saying, had a secret recipe. And somewhere in your life, you have one too. Sorry for the table shaking, but I can't help but move my hands when I'm talking. But here we go. So the difference is most of us were never taught to guard it. Let me just zoom that in a little bit. So I just clicked myself completely off. We're having a little technical difficulty today, and I blame myself for that one. But just work with your girl a little bit. Okay, now let's start from the beginning. Mr. Krabs has a secret formula. Colonel Sanders has a secret recipe, and somewhere in your life, you have one too. The difference is most of us were never taught to guard it, right? We live in a culture that rewards oversharing, that calls transparency a virtue and privacy a red flag, that tells you to show your work, reveal your process, give people access, and somehow labels you a gatekeeper if you don't pour everything you are onto the table the moment someone pulls up a chair. Can you concur? But here is what nobody talks about, okay? Not everyone who asks for your recipe deserves all 98 seasonings, baby. Whether you have 120 or 200, tú sabes, right? Think about it this way. You are a walking formula. God designed you with specific ingredients. Your gifts, your wisdom, your wounds turn into weapons. Your unique flavor profile built from every season you survived. That formula is yours. It cannot be replicated because it was custom made. You can't replicate what God made. You can only try to do certain, you cannot never get the original design unless you are the creator yourself of all creation. You don't have that. Now, some people might think that, but they don't. It's custom made. Now, if someone comes along, they're friendly, they're interested, they keep asking, basically, or they keep asking. Maybe they even make you feel guilty for not sharing more. And little by little, you start handing over the seasonings. That's how it happens so freely, and so you don't even know what's coming. First, first the surface ones, then the deeper ones, then the ones that took you years to even name. Okay. And if you're losing it there, it could be, man, I was dealing with so forth and this and that. One thing my mom always tells me, or told me at least, she's still here, thank God, but she always said, be careful who you share your information with. Now, she's got a little open wound with that, but she used to tell me, and I used to see my sister go down that rabbit hole, God rest her soul, where she would trust her supposed guy she was with at the time, or I don't know about female friends in between. And I think, it was more so those guys would be harmed and hurt themselves. I feel like I'm looking this way instead of here, but they would wind up using that against her or saying something about her past or what she shared with them against her. And that would make me very upset where I'm like, man, that's really messed up. You really think but sometimes she did it way too fast. I mean, that's a lot of stuff she was dealing with and it was just pouring out of her. So I understand. Some of you too, you could meet a friend, invite them over to your house. I'm giving you some context. And you're like, well, what do you mean my seasonings in my recipe, right? First the surface ones, then the deeper ones. You could say, hey, man, I've been saving up 5, 6K and I put it here in my sock drawer and I'm trying to work. Now that person could have came off intentionally okay, but what if they got into a jam and they just didn't have that loyalty or that integrity, especially that God integrity, and they just, oh, I know where 5K is. Let me break into their home and get the money. All the while you thought you had a good friend. Okay, another example. Let's go deeper. Oh, I met this woman or this man, they had good children. I'm gonna bring my kid over there. I can tell you the story of the kid that went over there. Okay. And parents didn't even know the next door neighbor who came upstairs. And I forgot, I don't know where exactly the source came from. So don't quote me, but a parent dropped their kid off. It was another floor over or something like that. And they kept saying, hey, I want to go play. The other kid came up and said, my birthday party. Never met the kid, but we assume that our kids know other people we don't know. So instead of going down there, I guess I don't know one of the parents were there or not. Like I said, don't quote me, but instead of going down there, seeing what's up, one of the parents said, okay, you can go play with him. Just make sure you come back. And ultimately, I don't know if the adult came up there and asked about the party or whatever, and they thought it was a party because they heard some music coming. And when they went into there, I believe like their kid was gone or something of that nature. They thought the kid was gone, or the place was like empty or whatever else I think it was. And there was two stories kind of like that. So I'm kind of getting mixed, but And the next one, or should I say, and that pattern wrote to, they looked for their kid. And when they went to the bathroom or the bedroom, I believe, and God rest this child's soul, ooh, they went in there, let's just say graphically, they removed their children's organs. Yes. So that child, their kid that they never met the other kid, they let their child go. And they, their mind was just thinking, okay, let's go play with your friend, you know, get a little cake. We live in the same building. I know the innocence of it, right? But I was saying things like that, the surface ones, now they're living without their child, and who God knows what their child went through just to get that happening and who those people were. Didn't even have a place of residence, just had an empty place they were in there. It was a vacant place. Um, so you never know how close the devil is, and even places you reside. So we're getting to that point here. And I just want to say that you have to be careful. Even if you meet someone and say they've been through the same trauma I have, a lot of people will mirror your trauma. Try to mirror your reflections, whether they have sick issues or wanting to relate and trying to understand, or mostly it's manipulation motive. And they'll try to get that to have you open up. Just like someone saying, "Oh, I lost my dog one time. I know how it feels." And that person could not have ever lost a dog. I'm just saying, keep your guard up when God is the guard. Not just keeping to the point where you're just always walled up with people, but be sensible and smart about things. Get to that point. So just, yeah, first the surface ones, then the deeper ones, then the ones that took you years to even name. So I went through that trauma. I was irresponsible with money. I was, whatever name you're putting, I had childhood abuse issues. I had, dependency issues. I had drug addiction issues, whatever it is, whatever you got a chance to name and got through, even named it, be careful who you steward that or even leave it with. Okay. Even in quote, so-called support groups. I'm just saying. PSA from your girl Lex. And one day you look up and wonder why something feels off, why you feel depleted, why what once uniquely was yours, right, feels like it's floating around in someone else's hands. That is not generosity. That is lack of stewardship, beloveds, right? You are allowed to give someone 20 of your 98 seasonings and see how they handle those before you go any further. You are allowed to watch how they treat the first layer before you trust them with the next one, right? You are allowed to guard your formula, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Just want to say that. The shepherd and the flock, though. Let me go to this. A shepherd does not leave the flock unattended, not because he does not trust the sheep, but because he knows the terrain. Or excuse me, but because he knows the terrain and he knows what predators look like. The same keys you would not let your closest friend borrow, you left in the car overnight, unguarded. I heard someone tell me that, oh, I leave the keys in the car, but I hear so many people, I'm like, okay, that's okay. Let's not go there. Because you assume the neighborhood was safe, but your assumptions are not a security system. All right. And you leave your front door unlocked at night and you say the neighborhood's fine. Maybe it is, right? But that door locks for a reason. Not everyone walking past your house at 2 a.m. has good intentions. Okay. And the fact that nothing has happened yet does not mean nothing ever will. We're not planting the fear of false evidence appearing real. We're planting understanding that evidence can become real from that. Like that's what it comes down to. Like if you want to sit there and live in the blind, oh, this is not positive. No, this is real talk. Okay. This is real. And it'll keep a smile on your face, being able to be ready and prepared for situations that come. It doesn't just happen in business to say, oh, always be prepared for a situation that might pop in. This is preparation for anything. Anything, okay? On gatekeeping, though, people on YouTube will tell you, or other platforms, okay, will tell you they are not gatekeeping. I heard a lot of people on that particular one. I'm not going to just say YouTube because not even that, but it was just a note at the time. It could be, well, some people on IG, but I seen it there mostly. I will tell you they are not gatekeeping. Some of them mean it. Some of them genuinely do not know their full formula. Let's be real here. They cannot give what they do not fully understand yet. And some of them know exactly what they are protecting and why. Right? Here's the truth though. Two people can run almost identical businesses with almost identical structures, same tools, same strategy, same content calendar, and one will flourish in a way the other never does. ¿Tú sabes por qué? Why? Not because they withheld information, but because that person is irreplaceable. Their specific breath, their specific calling, the God-given seasonings that cannot be extracted from them and be placed into someone else. So you can study someone's recipe all day long, beloveds, okay? You cannot replicate the hands that made it. That's what it is. The stewardship, though. So guard your heart, guard your formula. Be generous with wisdom, but discerning with access. So let me repeat that. Guard your heart, as the Bible clearly says, guard your formula, what God put within us, right? And if you don't understand your formula, you can work with Lex at any time you need to. You can go to realdoubledosechannel.com and check out some things that can help you, or the other 500 or 400 plus episodes we have at this point, or you know, I would say Google it, right? Edward Cullen. I'm just I'm just saying that, but you know what I mean. But I want to say that be generous with wisdom, but discerning with access. Not everyone knocking on your door, okay, is there to be fed. All right. Some are there to study your kitchen. Ooh. Should I repeat that? Oh, you want me to? Okay. So be generous with wisdom, but discerning with access. Not everyone knocking on your door is there to be fed. Some are there to study your cocina, your kitchen. And I want to go into this, but let me just say this. And that front door, lock it. Not out of fear, not out of bitterness, but out of understanding that what God placed inside you is sacred, and sacred things deserve to be stewarded. Oh, so hot. So hot. So I want to go into this real quick. Not everyone knocking on your door is there to be fed. Some are there to study your kitchen. Let that be a hashtag Lex, hashtag RDDC, hashtag HVH, heck versus hell where the truth beats hell. Let that be a hashtag. Don't study my kitchen, okay? Think about it. I mean, most of us don't even need a blueprint because we got someone laying out our house already. I mean, literally. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I enjoy some of the beautiful videos and the gorgeous cabins and stuff. Let me broaden up this video so I can get it off the top screen here. A lot of us see those things. A lot of us see that people's beautiful homes, all this, but I mean, who needs to case the place when you already got a layout of the whole blueprint? Just saying. It's not that kind of way. I'm just saying, like, you show everything you have and you give what you can. You try to have that. But I mean, I'm going to go here. Some are there to study your kitchen. So not everyone knocking at the door, we think, oh, they want to be fed. Let me give them some knowledge. Let me give them some game. Let me give them some upkeep. And some of them are like, oh yeah, yeah, they play. And I forgot a lady has said that before. I think I heard that too growing up. But play the fool. People can play the fool very well. Oh man, and we feel so good that we're feeding them. We're like, oh, we can finally share our gifts and give it to somebody. Oh, I can't wait. But then the recipe that you were supposed to roll out, someone just took because you gave them all 98 seasoning. Okay. The idea, the blueprint, someone saying, oh, well, Alex, it's not mine. I didn't touch it, so it's not gonna have, no, it's not gonna have your specific specificity that God gave you, but it's still something that's still gonna be snagged off of because you didn't steward what God gave you. That's what I'm saying. So you have to just be a little bit more crystal clear on those foundational points of what we have here. And I'm not trying to be the quote negative Nancy, but I love the part of understanding some are there to study your kitchen. They're just there to study it. Just like some people will study your channel, they'll study your swag, they'll study your perfume. I mean, there's so many countless people that tell me, you know what, Lex, people go, I mean, people be stealing my perfume the moment I tell them the name of it. I know they like it, but they be trying to steal my heels, my shoes, my this. Like they try to become me. And some people even become very dark, right? Quote, quote, if that was, to where they try to take over someone's full identity. It's a lot that comes along with that. So let me give you this. Let me give you the bullet points. Okay. I want to move this out the way again. Sorry, beloveds. This has not really been my style, but as you can tell, I've been a little not stewarding my sleep too much, but I'm getting some good things done and I will. It is coming up on the Sabbath time, but the key bullet points I want you to anchor this with. Okay. It's not everyone who asks deserves all 98 seasonings, or if you want to say, I don't have 98, I have 198, whatever you want to say, no shade, right? Um, give 20 and watch how they're handling it or handle before giving more or even sprinkling a few more. Okay. Be careful if you give them 20, make sure it took a little bit to get there because some people can hide their true faces for years. Some people hide it for decades. So it doesn't mean, oh, it's been 6 months, I can give them the full 60 more. No, you just need to learn and know what your seasonings are anyway. Not just know the count of them, know what they are before you even think about giving them away or borrowing them away. I'm just saying. Ask God for discernment, ask God for all those things. And it's nothing hard. People say, well, how do you do it? Close your eyes, go within the self, quiet your mind as much as you can in a safe space and ask for that. Even at night before you go to bed, Lord, I ask that you come to me. I ask that you speak to me. I relinquish myself. I relieve my heart into you. And I ask this myself, can you please get my stubbornness out the way? Can you please get my overthinking out the way or me having to think I can do it better than what I know you can do better with? Lord, you know me inside and out. You know everything about me that only I couldn't even imagine, even follicles or anything else. Like you know your child. So if there's something I need, please don't give me another 8 surgeries to get me in a traffic stop. But but a little sign or a little, something there, something like that. But I mean, in all honesty, it's true. God is truly your father. You can come to your father with anything and everything. There is no limitation. So give 20 and watch how they're handled before giving more. All right, the bullet points. Guarding your formula is not gatekeeping, beloveds. It's wisdom. All right. Two people can have the same structure, but only one has your God-given flavor. Remember that. Why do you have to see all these hundreds of thousands of ice cream places, hundreds of thousands or millions of burger places and pizza places and whatever else, taco stands, spaghetti, Italian joints, whatever it might be, Southern food, Colombian, Cubano, whatever it might be, Thai, Japanese, whatever. And you can have them in vicinities with each other. They don't have the same flavor. They don't have the same, profile. I used to go in Cali, two taco trucks. One was called Maria's Taco Trucks, I believe her name, and another was, I don't want to say Lucy, but she was so sweet to me. And even though she didn't have all of the stuff that Maria's Taco Trucks have from my tacos de lengua, beef tongue tacos, I was like, you know what? I love the other ladies. I think I want to say her name was Lucia, but it was so good. Like it's just the atmosphere of her children and her husband and where it was and the happiness. It made me feel good when they pulled up and they just ran and smiled at me. And Maria's taco truck, she was cool. I mean, she laid on those tacos, don't get me wrong, but her attitude, okay, her attitude was just like some days you get a smile, some days it was like, it was just too much. I'm like, girl, be happy that I even blessed your presence. But I'm just saying, not everybody has your recipe, okay? Some people might spend 10 with you and 50 with another. Just remember that. So you cannot replicate the hands that made the recipe. Amen, right? You can't. Lock the front door, not from fear, but from stewardship. Be wise. And the shepherd never leaves the flock unattended. And the last bullet point for now is sacred things deserve to be stewarded. So I am going to leave it with you right here. And I had to push through not necessarily the pain all the way, but a little bit of deprivation. We got some cool things rolling out for you, and the only way to come out swinging is to be completely real with what you can. I mean, obviously, transparency comes with this price. You're not going to be able to just go and say, "Oh, well, I feel like just having a birthday suit on and walking out the front door." I mean, you'll be finding yourself in cuffs or a loony bin very soon. But I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, just be comfortable in your own skin. I didn't even want to be on camera. I didn't want to be on camera. Like, my hair was just all over the place. I was like, man, my eyes are just, it's gloomy in this office space itself. If you can see, it's just a little gloomy. Work bag over here, different stuff. And I felt like, oh, let me just do an audio right now. But then I'm like, well, this is to someone who might need to see my face for a moment. This is something that I can hopefully put some B-roll in and make it out there for those on different platforms. And, you have to get to living before you even think about the other road of dying. That's what it is. Until that very day, where the breath of life that was given to us is taken back by what God's design is. Live to your fullest, steward to your best, and make sure you understand what you have is just as important as anything else. So remember to steward that. Remember, it's coming down to the recipe, right? Your sacred recipe and gatekeeping. All right. You need to keep certain things in the gate. And being oh, I'm not a gatekeeper. That doesn't really help all the time. Like I understand it. Like people are like, oh, well, I'm missing something. And I thought about that too. I'm like, dang, people be gatekeeping. Like, I want to know more. But here's the thing. I have to respect this. They don't have to do what they do. They don't have to say what they say. And what they've learned to acquire, that's the respect that they've earned for where they are. And who am I or who is anyone to say, hey, I need you to give me your full formula for what you do and get through the shortcuts of what you've been through so I can gain on it. And may I even turn around and say thank you or even acknowledge you. So yeah, gatekeeping is very healthy, even in that space or relationships or keeping your home and your family safe. You have a right to. That's what you're supposed to do. The shepherd doesn't let everything that's evil or wolves that are starving or animals that will hurt his flock just sleep in the pen with them at night. No. As Christ said, the shepherd, he is a shepherd that lays down his life for his sheep. So it's like you have to think about that. And I would leave it with this. They say, unless you have something that you are willing to die for, it's not worth anything, or it's not worth the measure. Okay. Like again, don't quote me. I don't know exact words, but I thought about that. Like some people have it in their head where they're, man, I would do this for my children, do this. It's not about the death itself. It's about being able to persevere. It's about, I have to have something that gets me out of bed every single day to move forward with, not to exist with, not to maintain with, not to get a little bit further, but to go the fullest I can. Think about that when people say, well, be satisfied with where you are. Absolutely. Be grateful. Be happy for where you are. But when they say, oh, you want too much, you need, no, no, that's not. Because to identify with God and to understand the breath of life within us, flesh or not, we're saying that we're going to stay minimized to keep ourselves in a bubble. The last I checked, God is so infinite and so limitless and so abundant. It would be, to me, it would be a sin and a shame to live anything less, not to exhaustion and sleep deprivation, not to dehydration, any of that stuff. I'm saying if you're not being the fullest expression of what God put in you and for the fact that you can express the God in you, the breath of life in any way, shape, or form. People are doing it with no arms, no legs, and wheelchairs, paraplegic. People are doing it with Down syndrome. People are doing it with strokes and heart attacks and surgeries and everything else going on. And I commend them all the best. I have friends and connections with all those categories I connected to, and I'm pretty sure you do too. It's our communities, our family. If they have no cap to getting up and making the best that they do every day, there's no excuse. And even if you don't have any ideas, send us an email, send a thought form, or anything else. I'll get a scribble pad with a crayon and write you up something. It's happened for people before opening up their own t-shirt and mechanic shop. So this is your girl Lex. I love you. And I guess I have to say it because it's just a part of me, but I have to say, be the change, feel the passion, embrace the power of the Spirit. All right. Just know that God is on your side, flowing through you, to you, and with you always, and surrounding you. Don't be hesitant about that. We love you. And I will hopefully be back with you after we find some lost episodes or some hidden ones. And yeah, just stay blessed and stay where you have to go and steward all the seasonings that you're made with so you can continue on that beautiful journey with whatever you're going to spice life up with. And I'll see you on the flip side.